Well, welcome back to Old Trafford for the Royal London One Day Cup fixture between Lancashire and Northants, with Lancashire set 270 to win the game. Our umpires, Rob Bailey and Paul Baldwin, are striding out to the middle, because the Lancashire opening pair of Keaton Jennings and Hasib Hamid are just a few paces behind. 269 all out. Northants are steel backs, 6 for 37 for Saqib Mahmood. An excellent 72 from Jason Holder, and what a difference it could have been had Jason Holder been there right at the very end. So it makes that spectacular kind of combination work between Maxwell and Jones out in the deep really important. He made 72, Keogh 66. Vasconcelos made 50, and Proctor with a very good 36 towards the end, helping Northants reach 269 all out. Just 270 to win it, and we'll keep our eye on the Duckworth-Lewis Stern total, because that, Alex Winter, could be crucial.
Indeed, yes. Yeah, wickets really, really important in the second innings if there is a bit of weather around. Fine for the moment. There are a few greyer clouds away to our right-hand side, and the breeze has certainly picked up, which suggests that a bit of weather could be on its way. But fingers crossed we do get the full 50 in here, as Ben Sanderson prepares to open up from the James Anderson end. Jennings, the left-hander, to take the first ball. Slip and a gully. Jennings up on his toes to push the first ball out towards backward point, and there is no run. But they've got the men for the job here, Lancashire, to just nose the bowling around and keep them ahead of the game in terms of DLS. And Jennings and Hamid, who's had a revival at the start of 2019. Great to see. Deep square, and third man out here for Sanderson, who moves in right arm over, bowls back of a length and gets punched away towards point. Keogh tumbling away to his left hand side makes the save, and there is no run. It was Jennings who saw off Northants in the T20 here last year, when Northants crumbled on a slow wicket, totally blew themselves up, set no target at all, and Jennings calmly knocked the runs off with ease. Sanderson in third ball of the innings, and Jennings from the crease, just defending out towards extra cover, and there is no run. A modest target here for Lancashire, but on a wicket that wasn't terribly easy to score on. And if Northants can pick up a couple of wickets, maybe with the new ball, could be game on here. Both sides looking for their second wins of the competition. Sanderson in past umpire Bailey, and Jennings struck on the pad, looking to turn this leg side. The ball runs out to extra cover. Vasconcelos does the fielding. There's no run.
Yeah, wickets. It's the wickets column, isn't it? I guess in this first 10 overs potentially, which are crucial, because if there is to be a bit of rain around, the DLS scores they increased sharply when wickets tumble. So it's a relatively modest DLS score to be at the end of the 10th.
Sanderson again. Jennings touches this from back of a length out into mid-wicket, and the Lancashire chase is underway. Yeah, it's a good 20 runs thereabouts that the target jumps up by if you do lose a wicket after 10 overs. If Lancashire are 0 down, 28 will be the mark they'd have to get to. If they're 1 down, it's 44. 2 down is 63. 3 down is 87, and so on.
I looked at the radar during the course of the interval there, and it does look like we might get a little bit. Kind of between 3:30 and 4, it looks like it's due to arrive, but it doesn't look like it's anything. It might be heavy.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's anything that's going to be prolonged.
No, I don't think it'll be terminal, but could reduce the match. So Hamid, the right-hander, takes guard. Sanderson is in, and Hamid gets one outside the off stump that he's able to rock forward to and let go through to Rossington. So end of the first over, single from it. Nice steady progress is all Lancashire need to get themselves going in this chase. A tricky chase, nothing to particularly concern them. They're going to come out and blast their way up towards 400 plus, as they were forced to do so at Trent Bridge. But it will take some chasing this.
Absolutely, yeah. And as you say, the way that Proctor ended the innings from a Northants point of view, that 36 gives a bit of momentum, doesn't it, to the run chase? Certainly, it was a nice busy way to end the innings. So we're going to see Blessing Muzarabani. There's a name which is will be a little, I guess, unfamiliar to one or two Lancashire supporters, albeit he's not unfamiliar to this part of the world, so I'm told. Muzarabani, who's a tall man, comes in all arms and legs, isn't he? He's over the wicket and bowling to Jennings. It's wide and left alone by Keaton Jennings, and there is no run.
Bowled superbly on Sunday on a wicket that really helped the quicker bowlers. Actually came in and bowled with good hostility, picked up 3 for 28 wickets with the new ball. He was superb.
Just tell us a little bit about him. I know he played in the Manchester leagues, I'm told, at one stage, as Muzarabani bowls, and Jennings tries just to shovel it into the offside. It's angled across Keaton Jennings and through to the keeper, and there's no run. Yeah,
he's played 20 odd times for Zimbabwe, thrown in his lot with Northants, signing a 3-year Colpack deal. It's a bowler of some potential. Tall, very thin figure. Just sort of lithes in, almost Jofra Archer-like.
He does actually, yeah.
Had a real explosion at the crease, and there's plenty about him.
He's a bit gangly looking, isn't he? There's all his arms and legs go twirling in and bowling to Jennings, who's forward, just jabbing it into the offside, no run.
Jason Holder not on the field here for Northants. Ben Curran's out there, the 12th man. Out there at mid-off, just throwing the ball back to Alex Wakely. So whether Holder will be able to bowl in this second innings. Watch this space.
Just be having a slightly extended lunch interval.
Well, maybe.
There is Muzarabani. A right arm over the wicket, back of a length, sliced away off the back foot by Jennings, up and over extra cover, out towards the point boundary. Will it just about get there? It's a very good effort out on in the deep, but I think in the end an effort in vain. And Jennings gets himself 4 runs, so he moves to 5, as indeed do Lancashire. Muzarabani, 1 test match for Zimbabwe. He's played 18 one-day internationals and 6 T20 internationals. Picked up 18 ODI wickets. He's running in from the Statham end. Jennings waits, slip in place, bowls, and that's again angled across Keaton Jennings, getting to play forward, and the ball's into the gloves of the keeper. And there's no run. He's bowled that well a couple of times, hasn't he? One just slanting across Keaton Jennings.
Yeah, good start here First chance for the new ball on Sunday, and really took it. Northants need a response here with the ball. Mahmood 6'37" for Lancashire, career best for him.
Final ball of Mazarabani's first over into Jennings, and signalled as a wide this time. Again, it was pushed across Keaton Jennings, and the umpire spins round, umpire Baldwin, to notify the scorers that Mazarabani will have to bowl it again, and Lancashire get a run for it. They move to 6 without loss. 5 of those runs for Keaton Jennings, and that wide just a few moments ago. One slip, gully, third man, fine leg, backward point, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, square leg. As Mazarabani bowls, and Jennings is kind of half forward, just defending back down the pitch. Little jab back towards the bowler, and enthusiastically Mazarabani picks up and hurtles one, not with anywhere near the keeper, Adam Rossington, who did well to tumble a few paces to his right to stop the ball there.
That would have been really interesting to see whether the umpire would have signalled dead ball or not there, because the ball seemed to get stuck in his hand and it went hurtling away to Rossington's right.
He did well to get to it.
He did. Almost sent that away to the pavilion. So 2 gone, 6 without loss, Lancashire, in pursuit of 270 for their second win in this year's Royal London One Day Cup. Both these sides 1 and 2 so far, as the Americans. They don't like awarding points, the Americans, do they? They just have wins and losses. Cut and dry. Sanderson from the Anderson end comes into bowler Hamid, length delivery just outside the off stump, and Hamid rocks forward and lets this go through. I have no idea what happens if teams are level in American sports, because all their rankings are based on just wins and losses.
Right. Well, there must. Yeah.
So there's no points awarded. So somehow they have to separate sides who have level records. Sanderson once more from the far end, and Hamid, forced to play for the first time here, steers to Zabe at extra cover with no cap on, and there is no run. I think, well, certainly in baseball, if the season ends and teams are level, they play a one-off eliminator.
Ooh, exciting.
So it doesn't go down to net run rate, or I'm trying to think how else you could separate it in baseball. Sanderson in again, and Hamid well forward here, a confident bend of the front knee, pushing out to Zabe at extra cover again, and there is no run.
The amount of home runs, something like that.
Yeah, you'd think something like that could be used, but no, yeah, I'm pretty sure that after 162 matches in the regular season, if teams are level.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
wow.
162 regular season matches.
Gracious.
Sanderson once more right arm here, that he whips away through square leg. This is running away towards the mighty temporary stand and runs away for a boundary. Sanderson just too straight with this 6-3 offside field, and Hamid whipped that very pleasantly out towards that giant structure that goes back and back and back and eventually stops somewhere in the stratosphere. Hamid off the mark, 10 without loss in the third over.
It'll look great when it's full for the World Cup and the Ashes and the T20 games.
Sanderson in again, and Hamid is playing at this one that left him, goes through to Rossington. If there is a bit of sea movement available, Sanderson will find it, and just for the first time there gets Hamid to have a little fiddle outside his off stump. Again, it was a confident stride forward, and he was just playing a little away from his body. There was a slip and a gully in play. Sunday went in the air through gully, and neither side had a gully in play really throughout the game. Sanderson in again here, and Hamid diverting this down into that gully where Josh Cobb fields down by his right boot, and the over comes to an end. So 3 gone here at Old Trafford. Lancashire chasing 270 to win, are 10 without loss. Steady start. Jennings 5, Hamid 4.
Indeed, on 5 Live Sports Extra, and only for a wee while longer, there's IPL cricket on the way shortly, but on BBC Radio Lancashire, BBC Manchester, BBC Northampton, it's across the BBC Sport website and the BBC Sport app. And increasingly gloomier skies. Well, but maybe we're just a little bit fooled because we are behind slanted glass. It might not be too bad outside. This is driven by Jennings from Muzarabani. Just overpitched a fraction. Jennings onto it in a flash. Drills it firmly through extra cover. And has come back for 3 runs. Keaton Jennings with that moves to 8. And Lancashire 13 without loss. In the Royal London One Day Cup, the North Group fixture between Lancashire and Northants. Set 270 to win this game. And it's worth noting, actually, if the rain does arrive, as we think, we'll start losing overs straight away. With these day games, there's no chance to allocate a bit of time to say, well, it's half an hour juncture there to work into. You start losing overs straight away, so I'm told, during the course of that interval. It's Rabani to Hamid, a bit of bounce on that, but Hamid gets right on top of it, plays it safely into the ground, runs down towards third man. Hamid gets a single, he moves to 5, 14 without loss.
So no grace period in the championship. You normally get half an hour, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I think
before you start losing overs.
I think in the day-night games in this, you get a little bit of time. I think. I might be wrong on that.
Seems perverse.
It does, but certainly in these day games, there's no time to make up for lost overs. Muzarabani in, cracked off the back foot by Jennings, sliced out towards deep point. It's a big boundary that, and as soon as that beats the infield, that has rattled its way towards the rope. 4 more runs for Keaton Jennings. He moves to 12, and Lancashire 18 without loss.
Yeah, twice now, just offered a bit of width to Jennings here. And twice Jennings has put him away nicely.
Yeah, 2 good shots. He's in good touch, actually. He's had a couple of 50s this season. Keaton Jennings is in good shape as he leaves this next delivery. Again, which Muzarabani is just pushing across the Lancashire batsman through to the gloves of Adam Rossington, who has Richard Levy at first slip. And he's 1, 2, 3, 4 inside the circle on the offside. He's a third man, it's a fine leg. Alex Wakely's at mid-on. And there's a square leg. And Muzarabani bowls again to Jennings, just fends it off. Works it off his front pad. Right into the leg side, where it's fielded by Ricardo Vasconcelos. He batted nicely for his 50 earlier on today. Got a good ball from Parkinson, one that gripped and turned back in. It was a slightly loose looking shot, but beat him on the inside edge between bat and pad. Clipped his off stump. Muzarabani's over the wicket and bowling to Jennings, leans forward, angled back, guides it along the ground, and it's stopped in the gully. And that's the end of the 4th over, with Lancashire 18 without loss. Keaton Jennings has 12, and Hasib Hamid is unbeaten on 5.
Elsewhere, Derbyshire chasing 3-1-3 to win at Grace Road. 16 without loss in the 4th over there. They did have a rain delay, but back underway, and no overs lost there. Sussex 33 for 2 in the 9th over, chasing 284 to end Somerset's perfect start to the competition. And they're going to inspect 4:15 at New Road. Durham 114 for 4 in the 28th over before play was stopped there against Worcestershire. 18 without loss here, Lancashire after 4. Sanderson from the Anderson end comes in, and Hamid cracks it away through cover point. That's a fine drive away towards the old press box, round to our right hand side for Hamid's second boundary, and that looked really good. By no means a half volley. Again, he got that confident bend of the front knee in and punched it away in front of point, and it sped away around to our right hand side towards the Sports Terrace over there. 22 without loss, some picnic tables, unoccupied today. Sanderson moves in again, and Hamid on the back foot this time is playing 2 extra cover. Zabe coming to his left-hand side. Collects down low, there's no run.
Yeah, it'll be busy for the T20 games, the Sport Terrace. A bit of Prosecco on show. A few nibbles, a few canapes and fizz for those spectators that are lucky enough to get tickets in the Sport Terrace.
Sanderson once again past umpire Bailey, and Hamid again getting nicely forward to this, pushing out to extra cover. And there is no run, although the sponsor of the Sport Terrace has had its financial difficulties recently.
Well, he's been giving too much champagne.
Quite.
Yeah.
Quite. They're having to sell their own planes.
to fund the Sport Terrace.
To fund the Sport Terrace, absolutely. Too much sponsorship, not enough holiday flogging. Little words here between Sanderson and Wakely, and they're going to bring the gully out now. Mid-wicket goes in, and deep square is back here.
It's Hamid defends, and there is no run. We'll just round things up for our FM friends. Thank you, Gilly. Yes, welcome to Old Trafford, where the crowd is decent, but those picnic tables are not being used today. Out towards the Sport Terrace side of the ground. Lancashire batting the 22 without loss. They're chasing 270 to win the game, which looks like a relatively modest total, but they've still got to get the runs nonetheless. An excellent day for Saqib Mahmood, the young quick bowler here at Old Trafford. Picked up 6 wickets, 6 for 37. Top scoring for Northants was Jason Holder, the West Indies captain, who made 72. So Hamid and Jennings are currently batting. 1 ball left of their 5th over, chasing 270 to win the game. Lancashire 22 without loss. As that next delivery was just defended back down the pitch and gathered by Sanderson. No run. So 1 slip in place. Hamid slightly bent at the knee, waiting for Sanderson. Again, just forcing it into the offside. Beautiful shot. 4 more runs for Hamid out towards the extra cover boundary. And he's looking in good touch. This is really good signs for Lancashire that Hasib Hamid has started the season so well. With that century in the championship match at Lords. He made 117. It was his first century since 2016. And in this competition so far, unable to get much against Worcestershire in the first game. He batted really well for his 30 at Notts and probably got quite a tough decision. Caught behind, not certainly he hit it, or at least he felt he didn't hit it, but looked good for his 30. And again, likewise at Yorkshire, batted nicely at the start of his innings. So some good early signs for Hamid. He's 13 not out. That was in end of the 5th over. Muzarabani comes back into Jennings, who's just waiting for it, and then popping it out into the onside. And Vasconcelos fields low down to his right, just in front of the square leg umpire, Ricardo Vasconcelos. And there is no run. 26 without loss. Jennings on 12. Alex Wakely, the Northants skipper, has a word with Muzarabani, who's in and bowling once more to Jennings. He's pushed a little wider and left alone by the Lancashire batsman. Through to Adam Rossington. And there is no run. Northants in their electric pink, so I'm told. One day colours. With a bit of claret on the front and around the shoulders. It looks very snazzy. I like it. There's Muzarabani. Statham end of Old Trafford. And he's over the wicket and bowling to Jennings, but down the leg side. And umpire turns around very slowly just to signal to the scorers that that's a wide. 27 without loss now. Jennings remains on 12. Now Adam Rossington said something. He comes sprinting up to have a word with his captain. The keeper to the captain, who's at mid-on. A few different suggestions perhaps. Maybe he spotted something, the keeper there. Now hurrying back into position with Richard Levy to his left-hand side. Muzarabani to Jennings. Again, it's wide and left. And through to Rossington. There's no run. Slow walk back towards his bowling mark by Muzarabani, but he's such a tall lad. His trousers don't quite cover his socks when he's running in, so you can see his white bowling boots. And then as he starts to gain a bit of momentum and those legs get pumping back and forth, they start to ride up his legs and his white socks emerge. And he's back in bowling to Jennings, who dabs it back down the pitch and fielded by Muzarabani. And there's no run, but it's a good stuff. It's a 2.4 overs for 14. See a couple of boundaries which Jennings has put away pretty emphatically, but plenty of encouragement from his teammates for the start that he's made. Is that Ben Curran there at mid-off? Looks that way. He hands the ball back to Muzarabani. And he brings Jennings forward again with an angled bat, just defending. Runs down backward of point. And there is no run. Good contest, this.
Yeah, he was impressive with the new ball on Sunday, Muzarabani. It was a really good wicket. There was a bit in it for the faster bowlers. It was carrying through really nicely. That's what you want to see. A couple here, he zipped through with the new ball. So it's quite as pacey, this pitch.
Final ball of his third over. Running away from us. A ball into Jennings, who's forward and defending and playing into the offside. And there's no run. That's a good over. That plenty of encouragement for him from his teammates. Collects his top from the umpire. End of the sixth then. 27 without loss. Hamid has 13. And Jennings unbeaten on 12. Take a look at the radar again, see what the latest prediction is. It was looking at around about now-ish for the rain to arrive.
So 27 without loss, and Sanderson continuing from the Anderson and the far end from us, and it's down the leg side and clipped away from Hamid down towards the double-decker stand for a boundary. Sanderson a little too straight, faint touch from Hamid past the dive of Muzarabani at short fine leg, and away to the fence for Hamid's fourth boundary now. Goes to 17, a bright start for him, and Lancashire are up to 31 without loss, so way ahead on DLS for the moment. Still got to get another 3.5 overs in. Sanderson comes in again, and Hamid well forward. It's a sign of the confidence he's playing with this season, really. A big stride. Had to meet that delivery from Sanderson and pushing away to extra cover. Double century against the students. Yep. And then 100 for him, far more significantly at the Lords in the opening county championship match. Great to see him getting back on track as Sanderson comes in again. This is worked away, back out of square, maybe two here, should be two actually. As the fielder at deep square runs in front of that giant temporary stand. Hamid goes to 19, 33 without loss in the seventh over here. Because for 2 years Hamid has been in complete wilderness, particularly last season. Sanderson into him again with a quite wide slip. Oh, what a play and a miss. Is there an edge behind? They're all appealing. Rob Bailey says not out. Sanderson hands on hips, can't believe it. Hamid slightly sheepishly taps his bat at the wicket. No movement at all from Rob Bailey. Well, they all went up.
They did, yeah, they're all convinced there, weren't they? Sometimes you go up and a little bit of kidology towards the umpire, and then when he gives it out, you kind of settled for the decision. On that occasion, they didn't. There was some long, lingering stares by Ben Sanderson towards Hasib Hamid.
Sanderson comes in again from the far end, and Hamid in his crease, defending this back to the bowler's right hand, and there is no run.
Yeah, I started the season well. Certainly last season, 2018, I think he averaged 9 in the end, and he lost his place in the Lancashire team. In 2017, didn't fare a great deal better, but signs are very, very encouraging for Hamid this season.
He's got 19 here to run a ball, faces Sanderson again, and on the back foot he punches, but only as far as Zabe, who comes quickly to his left-hand side from extra cover. And there is no run to end the 7th over of the Lancashire chase. 270 their target, and they're 33 without loss, so a perfect start so far here, Scott Reed.
Yeah, as we mentioned at the start, it's probably, it's as much about the wickets column as the runs columns at the moment for Lancashire. If it's to be affected by rain, and DLS might come into it, they are comfortably ahead of where they need to be at this stage. That will change with a couple of quick wickets, and that's what Northants will believe. And they've felt perhaps that they should have had a wicket there, but so far, job well done by the two opening batsmen for Lancashire. This is a good battle brewing up here between Muzra Rabbani and Keaton Jennings, and he's forcing Jennings again back into his crease, guiding it down to point. Josh Cobb fields for Northants. There is no run. One of two fielders just at either side of point. And Cobb with a tidy piece of work. Third man and a fine legger. The other two fielders outside the 30-metre circle. Muzra Rabbani to Jennings. A rising ball, which Jennings just perhaps tucks his bat inside the line of that. Through to the keeper, but the height of Muzra Rabbani, I think in particular here, allowing him to extract a little bit extra bounce from this pitch, more than what the Lancashire bowlers were able to produce. The benefit of being as tall as he is. A little extra bite and bounce from Muzra Rabbani. He has got loads of encouragement from his teammates. He's over the wicket to Jennings. Jennings works it through the onside. Vas Cancelos will chase after that, and scoops up the ball. Jennings comes back for a couple. Moves up to 14 not out. Halfway into the 8th, 35 without loss. Lancashire nice and steady in pursuit of a target of 270 to win the game.
Yeah, Jason Holder says that Muzra Rabbani just wants a bit of love, wants an arm round his shoulder just to cajole him along.
Don't we all, Alex? Don't we all? Muzra Rabbani to Jennings, back of a length and nudged into the onside, no run. Well, Jason could be the man, couldn't he? Looks like that type of guy, a lovable type of guy. Give him a big good hugs, Jason Holder.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
I can imagine. If you're just feeling a little bit down, and you think, you know what, I could just do with a bit of a hug. Jason's your man. Muzra Rabbani balls to Jennings. That's pulled. And that's 4 runs. Rocking back, pulling it over Vas Cancelos at square leg, and out towards that boundary for 4 runs. Handsome looking shot by Keaton Jennings. He moves to 18 with 1 ball left of the 8th, and Lancashire 39 without loss. And Ricardo Vas Cancelos is now having to go and try and find the ball. It has disappeared underneath the advertising board. Oh, and now he's having to hurdle a couple of metal fences, and now he's in towards that temporary stand. Utterly dwarfed by the size of the temporary stand is little Ricardo Vas Cancelos, who's gone to retrieve the ball. It's a very enthusiastic and agile piece of fielding to hurdle over a couple of metal fences there. It's fraught with all sorts of danger, is that? Alex has left us and Kevin's here.
I've come down without any of my notes and research and everything. I mean, it is absolute chaos. This is shambles on my part. Yeah. Absolute shambles.
Yeah. I expect better, Mr. H. I do.
Well, that's the beauty. Nobody does.
Muzra Rabbani's bowling. Another short one. Muscled away. 4 more runs through mid-wicket. And he's just dropped a little short on 2 occasions there as Muzra Rabbani. And on both occasions, Jennings was able to play it pretty comfortably off the back foot, pulling it through mid-wicket to end the 8th over. 43 without loss. Keaton Jennings has 22, and Hasib Hamid is unbeaten on 18.
It has a strange old look and feel about it, doesn't it? The weather, we're expecting the rain, and therefore you it's all looking or feeling a bit grim, because you think, well, it's on its way, but at the moment it's still dry out there. But the cloud, there's quite a lot of it around. It's not necessarily that dark at the moment, and it's fairly high, but just a little bit of an ominous feel about the day weather-wise, and also about this bowling attack. There's no Jason Holder.
No, he's not yet emerged, has he?
And
he was down getting some treatment, wasn't he, while he was batting?
We thought it was a knee problem.
Right.
I say we sharing the responsibility.
Yeah, collectively we all thought a knee problem.
Collectively, yeah. Even if you weren't here at the time, you're part of it. Okay.
No, I'm with you. We're all in together.
But that's not going to make life any easier for Northants here, is it?
No.
So it's Cobb about to bowl from the far end, Jimmy Anderson end. He's going to bowl to Hamid, who's on 19 not out, bat raised, in and bowls, and worked away through square leg. And there was a man out of mid-wicket. He gets those legs pumping, can't quite cut it off. Vasconcelos diving to his right. It beat him. It's a 4. And it's Hamid on to 23, and the score up to 47 for no wicket. The start of this 9th over. Should point out, by the way, what a lovely new scoreboard we have. Away to our left-hand side. Very bright, very clear. To all those involved.
Everyone's done very well.
Everybody's done very well. We'll send you a little letter to say so at the end of the season. If we've got anything spare left in the pot, we'll put it your way as well. We won't have, but this one is played away on the onside, and there is a single for Hamid. He's on to 24, and the score moves up to 48 for no wicket now in this 9th over. So yes, I've got no scores. It'll be interesting to see what's going on. Sussex lost a couple of wickets there in the run chase at Somerset. A bit of rain around Leicester, a bit of rain around Worcester. Jump 2. Scott,
oh my word!
It's definitely an oh my word. Well, let's just it's a bit like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We'll come back after the break with more on that one in a moment. We're waiting here for Cobb to bowl. He comes around the wicket to the left-handed Keaton Jennings, and a good stop this time at backward point. Very fine piece of fielding. They needed that. Ben Sanderson, who was not best chuffed with that decision, didn't go his way a little earlier. But anyway, oh my word is what you said. And what have you got? Oh, no time. Cobb in, bowls, and defensively pushed through. They'll go through for a single. They'll have to be quick. Underarm throw from Sanderson, and Mead makes his ground. It's now 49 for no wicket. Over to you, Scott Reed.
Sussex 51 for 4.
Drama.
After 13 in pursuit of 284.
Something had to give there, because both of them 100% record so far in the competition. And looks as if Somerset are in charge of that one. So Mead worked away on the onside again for another single. Just turns that around. The applause from the Lancashire supporters for the 50 brought up by the Red Rose after 8.5 overs, chasing down 270. Jennings on 23. Cobb bowls to him now, a little quicker, but quite short as well, allowing the tall figure of Jennings to pounce on that and play it out into the offside for a single. He will keep the strike. It is the end of 9 overs, so Jennings on 24, Hamid on 25, with 8 runs coming from Josh Cobb's first over there. So it's down to 219 required from 246 balls. At the moment, Lancashire are on their way, looking strong.
Yes, encouraging start. And just been saying to Alex before that it's good to see Hamid. Very early stages, but this is nice and bright. I think Keaton Jennings had looked in good touch for most of the season as well. And yeah, so far so good from a Lancashire point of view. Northants still looking for their first wicket. They've made a change. Muzzer Abani has been replaced, and Sanderson comes into the attack. This from the Statham end of the ground. So here's Sanderson bowling, and that's worked down by Jennings. Oh, it just beats the field. Got himself 4 runs down there. Down towards third man. That's Keaton Jennings with a boundary in the 10th over.
Cobb sort of throwing himself over the top of that. There's been a bit of tumbling around, hasn't there, in the field? We talked earlier of Lancashire's fielding, saw some stunning catches, but there were a couple of wild and reckless throws, which, the way things are now, don't look as though they'll be too costly, but they weren't. It wasn't 100% showing from Lancashire in the field, but some very good catches.
In comes Sanderson bowls. Jennings gets forward, drives through the offside, one bounce, then runs out towards the extra cover boundary. And he'll probably pick up 3. Yes, he will. He's already turned and come back for a 3rd. Keaton Jennings, so he's 31 not out. Lancashire 58 without loss in the 10th. Looking to try and chase down 270 to make it back-to-back wins in the Royal London One Day Cup if they can get there. Both these sides with a very identical start. Play 3, won 1, lost 2.
The importance of the 10 overs, of course, for the fact that we get a result for the DL, and they're well in front on that, should the rain arrive.
Sanderson balls a short ball. Hamid just ducks underneath that and through to the keeper, and there is no run. It's a very noisy aircraft. Well, I think it's an aircraft. It's a UFO or something.
Must have your tinnitus problem again, I reckon. Cause
am I hearing things?
Well, no, it was, and it was fairly deep, very a low noise there, I think.
Ooh. Could get my ears checked out. Halfway into the 10th. Sanderson to Hamid, and he's going back and across and defending. Random female on Twitter sends a tweet to say, the first thing I heard when I tuned in at around about 3:05 was me saying it's fish finger time and then give an update. Is this fish finger time some type of code for broadcasting?
I don't know what he's talking about either, random female. He just keeps on saying fish fingers for some time. Every time he does a bulletin on Radio Manchester now, he says fish finger time. None of us know what he's talking about. Nurse.
Sanderson to Hamid, who's right forward in defence, and play back down the pitch.
Don't start trying to blame me for that one, Scott.
Absolutely no. Blame response. I said it. Well, you said it originally, but then I said it again second time.
It's just to do with a couple of buildings they're putting up in the city centre, which apparently, 3 buildings, which they've nicknamed locally. It's a Manchester joke, everybody. The 3 fish fingers, and that's where it all comes from, basically.
Yeah.
Got nothing better to do with your time. Come on a trip to Manchester and have a look at them. They're being constructed.
Sanderson to Hamid, another short ball, and he just bends his knees and ducks underneath it. It's the end of the 10th, so as Kevin mentioned, we do now have a game. Oh, and on the scoreboard it says, as there is a chance of rain interruption, the DLS score on the scoreboard now shows the score the batting side needs to be at after, and then we wait for the screen to change. Oh, this is very exciting. I like this. This new big screen here gives you all sorts of different information, doesn't it? Including detailed instructions of DLS.
But I don't think we're going to get page 2.
Here we go. Oh.
After the score, the batting side needs to be after the next delivery for a tie. What? Well, that makes a lot of sense. But look, let's be serious about this now, please. Let's pull ourselves together, because they're trying to explain to the crowd.
Yes,
we applaud that.
We do, absolutely. No, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
So we do have a game, so we can keep a close eye on DLS.
Oh, it goes on. Oh no, it's the same thing, same message. But it's great. So you've got a bottom section which got the extra messages. Fantastic. Well, Cobb didn't last long. It's Proctor in and bowling to Jennings, back at his old stomping ground, Luke Proctor, and helped on its way down towards fine leg by the left-handed Jennings. He's on to 32, 59 for no wicket in the 11th over.
Dave Bradley says a pitch inspection at 4:15 at New Road for the game between Worcestershire and Durham.
Many thanks to Dave Bradley for that. I think he's the stadium announcer there now for the home matches, not working for the BBC. So even better that he's letting us know. That's the modern age of the stadium announcer, putting it out there on Twitter as well. Proctor in with this very distinctive delivery, right arm throw, which misses the stumps. They weren't going to go for a run anyway, the Northants pair. I think that's Ben Curran. Well, Brent Curran's down here.
He's on his 12th man, isn't
Yes,
he, Ben?
for Holder. And again, from the far end, Jimmy Anderson end in, bowls up onto his toes. Hamid forward to it. Again, tumbling stop at backward point from Rob Keogh. Keogh, one of the 3 Northants batsmen getting past the half-century mark. Dreadful start, 3 quick wickets taken. Mahmood with a career best 6 wickets today. He bowled brilliantly well and he took those first 3 wickets, but Keogh, Vasconcelos and also Holder with the half centuries. Oh, a little fiddle at that one, Hamid. Very lucky not to get anything on it. Through to the keeper, Rossington. Proctor, just from everything about his approach, his point of delivery, everything's got energy, hasn't it? And you will have seen it over many years. But seems to have upped the game a little for Northants here. There seems to be a bit of a buzz around the field. They need to get a breakthrough, and quite urgently. Proctor in bowls and again forward to it, and very nearly getting the edge of Hamid. It's a bit unfortunate here. Luke Proctor's made a good start.
He has. I always like Luke Proctor as a cricketer. I think really good batsman, very, very handy bowler. I think the way he bowls, kind of very straight, wicket to wicket. He's not the tallest. He's a little bit skiddy in a whippy action. It zips off the surface. Probably a little quicker than you think. I think he's a really handy cricketer, Luke Proctor.
And in now bowls. Oh, just falls short of Keogh at backward point. Well, that's advantage bowler, but he doesn't get the breakthrough that he was searching for. 11 overs gone, 59 for no wicket. 270 is the target. Jennings 32, Hamid on 25. And that 1 run only coming from Proctor's over. He's looked the most dangerous, really.
He has, yeah. It's a good start by Luke Proctor. But wickets are required. That's absolutely crucial for Northants to try and peg Lancashire back here and try and bring that DLS into play. I'm not saying that it's going to be washed out the game, but just to try and bring it back into a sense of balance. DLS is 31, and as a scoreboard was great to inform the people inside the ground. Lancashire would need to be at 32 at the end of this over to be beyond DLS. So that just gives you a little idea as to where the target is. Here's Sanderson to Jennings. And Jennings works that one through mid-wicket, and he's working hard for a second there. As Vasconcelos comes up from deep square leg boundary to field. And Jennings moves to 34, 61 without loss. But we do have a little DLS score sheet in front of us here. And it does change quite sharply if Northants can pick up a couple of wickets.
From this start, they need a couple of wickets really to get it back, don't they?
They do, yeah. And Jennings just defending into the offside where on his 1 run, they managed to pinch a run there really, just dropped and go there, did Jennings. Moves to 35, 62 without loss. And 2 balls into the 12th. At the end of the 12th, as a DLS says, 32 will bring them level. 33 will get them over the line, but that would change if they're 3 down. It again shoots up to, or if they're 2 down, it shoots up to 66. You know, 3 wickets down, it's up to 89. It does change pretty quickly with the fall of wickets. There's Hamid nudges the ball with a little wristy shot through mid-wicket and snaps it into the onside and moves up to 26. 63 without loss halfway through the 12th over here at Old Trafford. But then again, we're talking about rain and what's like. It might not even come. We might avoid. Might be lucky.
Yeah, it could stay like this. I mean, it's got a bit of a grim to look. I heard you on commentary from my executive suite up, but it does look a little bit brighter there than it does down here with your tinted glass. Yeah.
Sanderson to Jennings, trying to shake to play it through the onside. It wraps him on the pad. It deflects into the off.
You and your tinted glass. It's
deceiving, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not that bright out there now.
Northants have been excellent in the field. I mean, the encouragement that they've had.
Yeah, because it's not gone their way, and it's a big blow not to have Jason Holder out there. It's something we need to follow up, of course. You know, the West Indies, the World Cup, and everything. Sanderson
to Jennings. And just nudged away through square leg. Takes him to 36. Not out.
Alex was saying, I believe, that they thought they got one more game from him, which is on Friday. But maybe that's not going to be the case. Now we wait to find out. But it is a concern. He's not come out to take to the field, and you imagine that we're not going to see him now. I noticed you said he was just having an extended lunch. I thought, God, judge everybody by your own standards.
Sanderson to Hamid, punches down the ground. Nice shot from Hamid off the front foot. Now the chase on down towards the boundary below us. Hamid's already come back for a second, wants a third. There is 3 there. Excellent running. Nice piece of fielding down below us here to scoop the ball up. When it looked for a second as though it might be running away from, is that Curran?
It is Curran, Ben Curran, member of the family.
He's moved to 29 not out. Hasib Mahmood, 12 overs gone, 67 without loss.
I think I read that Tom Curran and Jason Roy both missing from the Surrey team tomorrow, which again implications for England's World Cup preparations. Possibly they've got a camp, I think, over the weekend.
Right.
England wanting everybody to gather together. It's a back spasm for Jason Roy, and you'd hope that was something that maybe would clear up quite quickly, but apparently not. Proctor to bowl from the far end again into Hamid. Hamid will guide this down to Curran, down in front of us for a single. And Curran, and Lancashire move up to 68 for no wicket. The 13th over, it was Proctor who looked as if he was edging towards that breakthrough that they really need here to Northants. Defending 269, the target 270. And Jennings is 36 not out. The left-handed Jennings whaps that. Oh, hit with such power, the man can't cut it off at mid-wicket, and it's going to race over the very long boundary out there to our right-hand side, the top right-hand side of the ground here. It was Sanderson who tried to get to it, but straight through his hands. It was hit with such ferocity. It's a 4 for Jennings onto 37, 73 for no wicket, midway through the 13th over here. And Lancashire taking strides towards the target here. Jennings stands outside his crease, and the next delivery is bowled and played down into the hands of the man at backward point. Is Rob Keogh. No run. 69 for no wicket. A couple of birds fly from right to left in front of us. Say mainly a grey sky background to the far side of the ground as we look from our commentary position here. That's got the Old Trafford football ground in the distance immediately in front, and then away to the right you've got the city centre buildings, and Proctor around the wicket to Jennings. Fine, and so fine, it's going to be 4 runs. Well, if there'd been a slip in there, a catch would have been taken, or at least attempted. There was nobody there, therefore it's 4. Jennings on to 44, 76 for no wicket after 12.4 overs, and it's fish finger time again with Scott. Another update for Radio Manchester.
I think you're okay, yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you said that to me the last time when the unfortunate incident occurred at lunchtime. Proctor in bowls and pushed by Jennings for a single, and he will move on to 45, and it's 76 for no wicket. 1 ball left of the over, so it'll be my career which will be further in tatters if I get caught out twice in a day. So I shall hand it over to you.
I think you can get this last ball.
No,
I'm confident you can do it.
I think you can do it.
Okay.
I think you're trying to get me into trouble.
I'm not. I think you
do it.
I think you've got time. Talking about Scotland's First Minister at the minute. 1 ball left of the 13th. Hamid's on 30. Proctor's in and bowls. And a little push and go. He calls Jennings through. Pick up and throw. I think Jennings is well gone. But he had
a lot of the stumps.
End of the over. 78 without loss. Lancashire made a good start to this run chase. 270 is their target to win the game. Keaton Jennings is on 45 and Hasib Hamid unbeaten on 31. They've been set 270 to win. Luke Proctor's into the attack, the former Lancashire man. Top scorer for Northants was Jason Holder, who made 72, and Saqib Mahmood picked up 6 wickets for Lancashire today. So in pursuit of 270 to win, Lancashire are 78 without loss after 13.
As I was saying, he had a lot of the stumps to aim at, didn't he?
He did. I think he had them all pretty much, didn't he?
And he will be perhaps a little disappointed by that.
Yeah, plenty of time, didn't he? He was a goner, wasn't he, Keaton Jennings? That he hit.
Yes, he was a goner.
He was a goner. Rob Keogh is into the attack from the Statham end of the ground.
Would you be so kindly as to update us on a few scores as well, which I've not got to hand?
The only score we can bring you at the minute is the score between Sussex and Somerset. Oh dear, rain there. This is the only game going on. It's a match delay between Sussex and Somerset. As Keogh comes in and bowls, and this is turned by Hamid just in front of square on the leg side for 1 run, 32 not out, 79 without loss. Sussex are 62 for 4 in the 17th.
One must imagine such a dreadful start that they too under DL might be struggling.
I think they could be behind. Yeah. Match delay due to rain. And the match delay due to rain at Leicestershire against Derbyshire. Derbyshire 28 without loss in the 6th. As Keogh comes around the wicket to Jennings, drives down the ground to Curran for 1 run, moves to 46, 80 without loss. So Leicestershire made 312 for 8, Derbyshire 28 without loss, but they're off for rain. And there is an inspection due shortly at New Road, where Worcestershire are playing Durham. Durham 114 for 4. They've only had 27.2 overs of that game, but an inspection at 4:15. Keogh to Hamid, who goes right back and defends. And there is no run. So yes, just Manchester is where there is play. Rain elsewhere.
Can't really call it sunny Manchester,
no.
But we can call it dry Manchester at the moment.
Can for a minute, yeah. Keogh into Hamid. It's a nice shot, but he's picked out Mazharabani at mid-off. And there is no run. 2 balls left of the first over for Rob Keogh from the Statham end. 80 without loss. Good start. Hamid 32, Jennings 46. It's as solid a start as Lancashire have had. Keogh's into Hamid. Again, that's just worked out to backward square leg for a single. Hamid to 33, 81 without loss. 1 ball left of the 14th over.
So the DLS target is the target that I'm going to be on to tie the game. You need to get 1 more to win.
Keogh into Jennings. That's driven into the ground and stopped at short extra cover by Alex Wakely. That is the end of the 14th over. 81 without loss in pursuit of 270 to win. I'll disappear for a little bit.
Do you want to freshen up?
Yeah, I'll freshen up. Powder my nose and let Alex Winter come in.
Alex has been off freshening up as well, and quite sweet he smells following his little freshen up. 14 overs gone, yes. 81 for no wicket, 270 the target. Proctor and Keogh trying to make a breakthrough. Proctor very tight on his first over, not so on his second, but he's coming back for a third. Looks like a wicket was imminent really when he was throwing that first over. But Jennings and Hamid are still there. First wicket needed here. Proctor will come into bowl to Hamid. Hamid, the right-handed batsman, plays that down to Keogh at backward point. And no run. Yeah, it looks fairly steady. I was quite excited by the Luke Proctor first over from a Northants perspective. Otherwise, and with the thought of Jason Holder, unlikely now, I reckon, to be seen on the field here, which is a concern for Northants and possibly the West Indies. We'll get more on that perhaps a little later on today. Could be a toughie this for Northants. Worked away around the corner down to fine leg, and the right arm throw from Muzabani. 1 more to the total. 82 for no wicket. 15th over. Hamid on to 34. Yeah, it's pretty steady Eddie stuff this now for Lancashire. They look comfortable. They really do, and bearing in mind that they're so far ahead of the DLS as well. It's all just looking a little too easy. Proctor around the wicket, worked away off the pads, really onto the onside in front of the pads. Jennings getting enough bat on it to scamper through for a single. He's on to 47, 83 for no wicket, midway through the 15th. 2 runs so far from these first 3 balls of this 3rd over from the former Lancashire man. Keogh. He's back to his mark. Going to put a slip in here. Richard Levy comes in for Hamid on 34. Proctor bowls to him now. Punched on the onside of straight. It's very nicely timed. Is it going to be so well timed? It's going to go all the way for 4. No, it's pulled back in. So therefore they'll get 2. Beats the initial man on the edge of the circle. Then Sanderson goes chasing it. Pulls it back in. About 5 yards from the boundary in front of the old pavilion, at the far end, the old pavilion building. And with 2 balls left of the 15th over and 270 the target. The score now is 85 for no wicket. Hamid with 2 more, 36 not out. Proctor coming over the wicket to the right-handed Hamid, edged past first slip. It's Curran down here, good sliding stop, and such is the fielding there. That was good sliding stop, pick up and throw, all in one movement really. It was tidy that from Ben Curran, and therefore there'll be 1 run, not the 2 that Hamid was hoping for. And the score's 86 for no wicket. Jennings takes a fresh guard here for Proctor, because Proctor's going to come over the wicket to the left-handed Jennings, and Jennings will work this down to Curran again. Curran this time will go running straight forward for 5 yards or so, collect the ball, right arm throw to Rossington, and the end of that over. That's 15 overs gone. 87 for no wicket, 270 the target. Jennings 7, and Proctor has conceded 18 runs from 3 overs, 6 in the end coming from that his 3rd over. Keogh was nice and tight for that first over. Is 3 runs. He's going to continue, and Alex Winter will tell us all about it.
Hello again, Kev. Hello everybody. Perfect start here by Lancashire. Easy progress so far in their chase of 270. Keogh to continue then. From the Statham end comes right arm round, and Jennings cuts down towards Zabe at backward point. There's no run. Short 3rd man, extra cover, mid on and short fine leg. The fielders in the ring here. There's a deep cover, long off down beneath us, deep mid wicket and deep backward square as Keogh goes in, and Jennings well forward of this, pushing up to the bowler's left hand, and there is no run. Perfect start here for the home side in a modest but potentially tricky chase as Keogh goes in, and Keogh defends again. Jennings back to Keogh, beg your pardon, to his left hand, no run.
It was competitive, I feel, the target, but needed Holder to be in the ranks to make it competitive.
Keogh once more floats it up, and Jennings works this around the corner through mid wicket. They run the first one hard, they think about a second round. Jennings is calling his partner back here when they get home. Excellent cricket. No more than a little nudge and go with a dab through mid-wicket, and Vasconcelos running in off the mid-wicket boundary, couldn't cut off the second run, and it takes Keaton Jennings through to a runnable 50 with 7 boundaries. Most impressive here so far. Odd delivery from Muzzer Rabbani, went past his outside edge first up, but very controlled stuff here as he goes back and forces the next just in front of point. But Zabe able to come across to his left to collect with a couple of hands down by his left boot, and there is no run. Keogh, long sleeve shirt, comes in again, round the wicket, very full, dug out by Jennings really, out to Wakely at extra cover, and there is no run to end the over. So 16 gone here, and no dramas at all for Lancashire so far. 270 is their target, they're 89 without loss. Some giggling going on behind us, Kev. Are they talking about?
You'd think he'd grow up, wouldn't you?
Are they talking about us behind there?
No, but he's laughing at me.
Oh, right.
How old is he? Just because I said fish fingers accidentally. No, smelly fish fingers on Radio Manchester in their news bulletin accidentally. No, there's pardon, you don't hear the smell, you just hear fish fingers. If you missed it, good. I don't know what you're laughing at. You're not much help either. Sitting here in your nice shirt in Manchester, whilst we have to come down to your place in 7 layers, and you make it freezing cold. Oh yeah, it's going to get nasty here. Hamid on 37, 181 required from 204 balls. You're never wearing smart shirts like that at home, are you? Or at least we never get to see them.
I was going to
under all
say,
those
you
jumpers.
just can't see them, yeah.
Zabe going to try a bit of spin here from the far end, the Anderson end, in bowls. Oh, hits him on the pads. He was quite some way out of his crease, looking to work that away, Hamid. Toe end of the bat. I think he got bat on it. Oh, interesting first ball up from Zabe as he comes around the wicket again, leaning back, trying to punch that one away straight to the fielder. Levy doing the fielding at mid-wicket. A bit of energy and excitement. We saw something similar when Proctor came on for his first over. A bit of a buzz about the Northants fielders here now. Worked away in front of square on the offside. Hamid will get a single. And that's Sanderson with the right arm throw coming in off the boundary. Score moves up to 90 for no wicket. New bowler, new questions being asked of this batting pair who are looking comfortable. But just every now and then, just a moment or two where you think perhaps challenged a little more. Could there be a breakthrough? Zeb to come over the wicket to the left-handed Jennings. In bowls, looking to reverse it. It did take forever to get to him, so he plays it nice and comfortably. Down to Muzabani doing the fielding, coming up on the edge of the circle. One more to Jennings onto 51, the score of 91 for no wicket. 2 balls left to the 17th over. Around the wicket this time to Hamid. Gentle single onto the onside. Stride forward from Hamid. He's on to 39. The Lancashire score 92 for no wicket. 1 ball left to the 17th over. Zaib again. In a little fuller this time. Reverse and nicely timed, but there's a man out there. Tumbling stop. Fast Consulus with the right arm throw. They go through for 2. And 17 overs gone. 94 for no wicket. Jennings on 53. Hamid on 39. So 5 runs coming from that over. And the target being 270. Well, Proctor managed to conjure something up in terms of some sort of breakthrough. Keogh's actually kept it tight. Not quite the buzz about some of those deliveries, but we're sort of clutching at straws to a certain extent, because it just has that feel as though Lancashire have got this one really under control.
Yeah, Northants being well held so far, and you just can't see either of these players making a mistake. Very assured so far as Keogh continues from the Statham end, bowls quite quick and flat to Hamid, who's back and clipping away to deep mid-wicket, away to our right hand side where Sanderson fields, out towards the Sport Terrace over there. 95 without loss at the start of the 18th over. 270 the target.
So we've got 2 subfielders on now. We've got Buck down here, haven't we?
Buck has indeed appeared down beneath us at long off as Keogh bowls to Jennings, very full, and driven down to Nathan Buck. Beneath us, moves a few yards away from the Northants dressing room, and they wander through for an easy run, so Jennings goes to 54. 96 without loss in the 18th over here, Lancashire. Just looking round the field, I think it is. It's just a straight swap actually for Buck for Curran as 12th man. As Keogh bowls to Hamid, plenty of air outside the off stump and nicely driven away past extra cover. Hamid sprinted the first one. Vasconcelos made an awful meal of a very straightforward piece of fielding on the cover boundary coming to his right hand side. The ball ended up coming off his boot. He pirouetted around, had no idea where the ball had gone, and they could have got 2 in the end, but Jennings was dawdling 1. 97 without loss. Jennings now goes back and cuts, gets it past point. And Sanderson again in his bright white boots over there. They've had a bit of dazz this morning, haven't they? Wandering through for the run again. 98 without loss in the 18th.
Well, I was going to say other washing powders are available, but you don't use your boots on washing powder. But you were talking about that special bluey whiteness.
Keogh in and Jennings Jennings standing and crying no as the ball runs away towards backward square leg. Zabe doing the fielding, no run.
They do stand out quite a bit.
They're startling over there, aren't they?
The others got some red on them.
They do. Keogh more air here, and Hamid with a pleasant drive to Muzarabani at mid-off, and the over comes to an end. So 18 gone, 98 without loss Lancashire. Perfect chase so far. Jennings 55, Hamid 41. Northants making 2.69, bowled out to the very last delivery of their allocation. It was a steady effort from 26 for 3 and then 103 for 5, but at the moment looking about 100 short, Kev.
And some, although they couldn't really see that at the halfway point.
No.
And obviously there was some serious rebuilding work needed to be done. The spin of Zaib down the leg side wide, bowled into the left-handed Jennings. Spin the ball behind him. Scores up to 99 for no wicket. After in the 19th over, that one is pushed square by Jennings. Brings up the 100 here for Lancashire. In the 19th over, so this opening partnership of Jennings and Hamid, nice and strong and solid in their search for another victory. Both teams looking for their second wins in the competition. Zaib will come around the wicket into bowl to Hamid. Hamid goes back, creates a bit of room, hits it very straight through cover point. Sanderson from the boundary with a one bounce throw into the gloves of Rossington. 101 for no wicket now in this 19th over. Hamid having moved on to 42. Skipper has a word with his bowler, Alex Wakely. No noticeable change on the leg side. They seem to be looking. It's to that area where the ball now goes. Sanderson jogs up, collects the ball now, a single. For Jennings, 57 not out, 102 for no wicket. Midway through the 19th over. It's that strange look again now of a sky which appears to be getting darker in the distance, however a little bit brighter right on the ground, but it looks like rain to the right hand side to me, sweeping across the city centre now. And the DL, well, they're miles ahead of that. 57, there are 102 for no wicket. Forward defensive from Hamid, solid. Yeah, that doesn't look like much fun away to our right hand side, Alex.
No, it's gathering over there, isn't it? I think until now we've gotten away with it because rain was forecast before now.
In bowls, and a nice little punch drive from Hamid up to the long off boundary. He'll move on to 43 and 103 for no wicket. One ball left to the 19th over.
But Lancashire have played it really well, haven't they?
Yep.
Taken no chances at all so far. Just worked the bowling around at steady rate. Miles ahead of DLS. It's been perfect.
Zaib left arm spinning again and punched to Alex Wakely. It's the end of the over. No run to come from that last ball of the 19th over. 270 the target. 103 for no wicket. Jennings 57. Hamid on 43. 10 runs coming from Zaib's 2 overs, but away to our right hand side could also be quite an important teller in the game, and that's it really does look to be oncoming rain away to our right.
Yes, some very thundery showers forecast for the afternoon. Just a case of hit and miss, really. Some gathering clouds away to our right hand side over Manchester city centre, drifting towards us on this south-easterly breeze. 103 without loss after 19 then, Lancashire. Well on their way to victory here as Keogh continues from the Statham end. Right arm round he comes, and Hamid trying to paddle sweep a ball down the leg side. Misses. Rossington takes it outside his left hip and wide, signalled by umpire Baldwin. So 104 without loss. Keogh steps in again and floats one up, and Hamid drives loftily inside mid-off and out towards the boundary in front of the Lancashire dressing room away to our left-hand side. Just a measured, lofted drive from Hamid there. Didn't try to hit it too hard. Got a big stride in and just carefully lofted it well to the right-hand side of Blessing Muzzah Rabbani. And away to the fence for his 6th boundary. Goes to 47. 108 without loss as Keogh comes in again, and Hamid takes us off a very full length to whip through mid-wicket now. Out towards Ben Sanderson with those bright white boots away to our right. 109 without loss. Hamid now has 48. Continuing his 2019 revival. Great to see. Jennings very still in his crease. Gets a flat delivery outside the off stump, but he cuts backward of point. Should be at least 2 runs here. A lot of ground for Sanderson to goes skating after in those boots now towards the hotel. They come back for a comfortable second. So Jennings, 59 to him now, and Nelson is raised in the 20th over. Jennings just takes off his left glove and fiddles at his boot. Straps the glove back on and settles down once again. Keogh is into him, and Jennings is well forward, pushing to Alex Wakely with his shades atop his cap. He may need his umbrella soon as he comes to collect that to his left-hand side. Keogh in again, and Jennings dabbing leg side here, but Keogh in his follow-through skates away to his left-hand side to ensure there's no single taken. 1-1-1 without loss here. The Union flag really being buffeted away from its mighty flagpole atop the pavilion now as Keogh goes in to complete the over. Jennings is forward, only as far as Alex Wakely's right-handed extra cover. And the over comes to an end. So 20 overs gone, and plain sailing for Lancashire here in pursuit of 270 for their second win in the competition. 111 without loss as we welcome back Scott Reed.
Yeah, excellent stuff between Keaton Jennings and Hasib Hamid. Second 50 of the one-day competition for Keaton Jennings, and Hamid looking for his first of the competition this season. Unbeaten on 48, but 20 overs into the run chase. Absolutely in control, Lancashire. And Hamid's on 48. Zabe will continue from the far end and balls to Hamid. Just goes right back into his crease there, doesn't he? And pushes the ball into the offside. And there is no run. The score remains 111 without the loss of a wicket yet, Lancashire. Zabe around the wicket balls, and Mead will just tickle it out towards square leg for a single. Pigeons go hurtling away because this tall figure of Muzarabani is stomping in their direction, and they flutter off towards the edge of the boundary rope. Jennings attempts to reverse and chop it down to the ground, but the ball deflects into the onside, gathered by Alex Wakely. Back to Zabe, who will ball over the wicket to Jennings. Again going on that reverse, and in a little, I think, little bottom edge on this. It's gone past the off stump, past the keeper, down towards the boundary. Is there anything on it or not? We'll soon find out. The answer is no, it's missed everything. It's gone down for a couple of byes, so he remains on 59, 114 without loss.
Rossington tried to anticipate there, didn't he, by jumping across to his left-hand side, and batsman made no contact, and it went scuttling through.
Still remains on 59. This time he does get bat on ball with a little reverse paddle. Muzarabani's there to field. Jennings jogs through for one, so he's up to 60. This is the last ball of the 21st over. Lancashire are 115 without the loss of a wicket. They're in pursuit of 270 to win the game. They're comfortably ahead on DLS. Zabe bowls, Hamid's forward, defending, and then just pushing it into the onside and getting through for a single. And that takes Hasib Hamid up to a very nice looking half century. His first of the competition, but it is a further sign that perhaps better times are close to returning for Hasib Hamid, having reached another half century in the back of a really good ton at Middlesex in the Championship. He's 50 off 60 deliveries with 6 fours, 116 without loss.
Played very nicely. Been good to watch here today. Played with a lot of confidence. His footwork has been excellent. Has put his side in a perfect spot here. He waits here for Keogh, 116 without loss, and goes back and pulls away to Sanderson at deep mid-wicket, away to our right-hand side. And they go through for another single. Hamid to 51, 117 without loss. More sunshine now at Old Trafford. The ground soaked in golden afternoon sunlight. As Keogh goes round the wicket to Jennings, who's well forward, the left-hander, pushing back up towards the bowler's right hand, and there is no run. Aircraft on its way to Manchester Airport as Keogh Goes in again, reverse sweep from Jennings, only as far as backward point. Didn't quite time it, finds Zabe, still with no headgear on, going to his right hand side. And again there is no run. Keogh stepping in again past umpire ball, but Jennings back once more, going to cut, getting a bottom edge that bobbles down towards Alex Wakely with his long sleeved shirt. Sleeves pulled up slightly there at extra cover. No run again. As Keogh bowls again, more air on this, and Jennings able to smother it out through mid-wicket, a vacant area to our left-hand side, and they jog through for a comfortable run. So Jennings goes to 61, 118 without loss in the 22nd over here, Lancashire, with absolutely no dramas at all so far in this run chase. Keogh again, Hamid driving nicely up towards mid-off, sharp single attempted, and Mazhar Rabbani can't throw down the non-striker's end stumps, so Hamid gets through for his single, which will mean he keeps the strike on 52. 22 overs gone, and Lancashire in pursuit of 270 are going swimmingly along, 119 without loss. Down at New Road, they are going to get a game in there. Play's going to restart at 5 o'clock, and Worcestershire have been set a revised target. They need 156 to win in 25 overs there. So the Durham innings has been called at 114 for 4 after 27.2 overs, and Worcestershire will have to chase 156 in 25 overs to win there. Good start to the competition for Durham, but on the face of it, up against it.
Update Radio Lancashire listeners now. Yeah, 22 overs into this run chase, and Lancashire made an outstanding start. They're 119 without loss, so a century partnership for this opening wicket. 2 half centuries, one for Keaton Jennings, who's unbeaten on 61, one for Hasib Hamid, who's 52 not out. That target was 270 after 72 from the West Indies captain Jason Holder, but restricted to 269 due to 6 wickets from Saqib Mahmood, 6 for 37, career best figures for him. We think rain is on its way, but Lancashire are miles ahead on Duckworth Lewis. 22 overs gone, 119 without loss. So Zabe will continue from the Anderson end, bowling to Hamid. Oh, he's come right back into the crease there and absolutely muscled it through mid-wicket. Really put everything into that, Hamid. Richard Levy's at short mid-wicket, but the ball was to low down to his right-hand side and forced away through the onside for 4 more runs. 123 without loss. Hamid now to 56. Zabe around the wicket, and Hamid just defending with a little angled bat and just jabs it down into the offside, and there is no run. Zabe in again, sunshine actually now. A wristy shot by Hamid through square leg for a single. Takes him to 57, 124 without loss. Lancashire way ahead on the DLS. Even if we do get a bit of that rain, but you never know, it might just skirt around the edge of the ground, as Kevin and Alex were saying previously, that it's quite clearly falling pretty heavily towards the city centre of Manchester. If you're out doing a bit of shopping today, you get yourself wet. As Jennings gets forward and turns it into the onside. A very clear shout of no, hasn't he, Keaton Jennings? There's no mistaking the fact that Keaton Jennings felt there was not a run there. Wakely got forward to field. This is chopped away through the offside. And this time there is a single. Jennings is up to 62. Mike and Marta are operating the scoreboard today. Lightning quick. Collins in there as well. There's 3 of them. Big Cole's doing a good job. Jennings has moved to 62 as Zabe bowls and Hamid drives right down the ground. It's a beautiful shot by Hamid. Just a little step down the pitch, almost on the walk there, Hamid, as he drilled it towards a very straight long on boundary. 4 more runs for him. He moves to 61, but they're quick. The old scoreboard ticking over. That run for Jennings previously was put up there before he even got through for a single. 23 gone, 129 without loss. I think it's like kids at Christmas for those three, because it's a new setup now at Old Trafford this season. The scoreboard's bigger and better and brighter and bolder than ever before. And there's all sorts of information on there, and it's colour coordinated as well. And having a great bit of fun putting all that together. 23 gone, 129 without loss. So what did he need? 141 required. And bags of time to get them. 162 balls. Keogh, who batted beautifully earlier in the day for his side, he made 66. He'll continue. He darts one in a little bit flatter and quicker to Keaton Jennings. It's cut through the offside. And Jennings gets a single, so he moves to 63 now. 130. Put on for this opening partnership so far, with Hamid unbeaten on 61. Keogh, Statham end. Strides in and bowls to Hamid, who wants a single. This could be tight. Throw comes in, and he's gone. And Keaton Jennings thumps his batting frustration and has been run out. Pick up and throw from about kind of point. It felt like that could be tight. It just felt that would be a tight single almost from the word go. That was called through for one. And Keaton Jennings has been dismissed for 63, run out. And Lancashire lost their first wicket, 130 for one. Jennings departs.
Very nice piece of fielding. Saif Zaid moving quickly to his right-hand side and throwing down the striker's end stump. So Northants finally make the breakthrough. It's a wonderful opening stand, and Keaton Jennings has played really well. And you can see his frustration as he walks off to our left-hand side here, because he knows it was a great chance to make a really big score here this afternoon. Chasing, complete control, opposition really struggling. And Jennings is gone. 63, played very well. And finally something for Northants. What's been a fairly chastening 23.2 overs so far.
Glenn Maxwell's the new batsman, so he's been bumped up the order. Has been Stephen Croft the last couple of games, batting at number 3 for Lancashire, but Maxwell strides out with this good base, and I assume with a licence to give it a whack.
Yes, I suppose Lancashire will be thinking 140 needed here in 160 balls, well ahead of the DLS score. Nothing to worry about in that regard. And if Maxwell can get going and finish this in double quick time, improve the net run rate, which generally always is a factor with this very tight nature of the one-day cup. And they've got a great base here to try and win the game quickly, so may as well give it a go. If it doesn't work, plenty of wickets left in the shed and still well ahead of the game.
Cricket Stats UK sent a tweet to say new record, highest first wicket partnership for Lancashire against Northants in List A cricket. That's between Keaton Jennings and Hasib Hamid. The previous best was 125 by Gallion and McKeown in 1996. Here's Keogh into Maxwell. It's off the mark straight away then. A little glance off his pads down to short fine leg for a single. So Maxwell is up to 1, so 131 for 1. Keogh halfway into his 6th over. Hamid with the keeper just crouching down behind the stumps. It's Ford, drills it down the ground. Curran's at long on. Still no Jason Holder for Northants. We're assuming 24 overs in, that's it. He's not going to come out and bowl now. So whatever that problem was that he suffered, like a knee perhaps, we're kind of guessing at when he was batting, is sufficient for him not to be risked. Yes, Maxwell just chopping the ball back down the ground, gathered by Keogh off his own bowling, and there's no run with the World Cup just around the corner. Keogh over the wicket and bowling. Maxwell going back, playing a safe shot along the ground through the offside for a single to keep the strike as well. 24 overs have now been and gone. 133 for 1 Lancashire in pursuit of 200 and 70 to win.
At the moment, very similar, albeit in elongated form, to the T20 here last year, really. Northants putting up a well below par score, albeit on a slightly sticky pitch. 1, 2, 3 for 9 they made in their 20 overs. And then Lancashire seeing it off very easily indeed to win by 8 wickets with 3.5 overs to spare. Northants a bit more competitive here, but Lancashire still finding it very easy so far in the run chase. Swap at 12th man, Curran's off, Buck is back, because as Scott says, Jason Holder hasn't been seen since lunch. He's disappeared in a pile of potato wedges. Zabe far end then, left arm round, comes in the bowl to Maxwell, who drives only as far as Wakely and extra cover, and quite tight there, Wakely no run.
They were a cross between a potato wedge and like a boiled potato, weren't they, at lunch?
Yeah, the things that we were delivered, they were. Zabe again driven by Maxwell, again to extra cover, better piece of timing, it's put straight to the fieldsman. And again no run, 1-3-3 for 1. Zabe flatter this time, and Maxwell going back and pushing again out to Alex Wakely and extra cover. And there is no run. Long off deep cover. And deep square the man out here for Zabe. Making his first appearance of the season. Maxwell down the pitch, lifts him up over mid-wicket out towards the point and all the way for 6. A little shimmy down the pitch by the Australian. Making good contact and just carrying the rope out towards the giant red box on the far side of the ground. So Maxwell quickly into his stride here, showing his intent. 1-3-9 for 1 with 2 balls to go into the halfway point. Zabe just pauses, licks his fingers, comes in again, full toss, this is over square leg, 6 more. Bigger strike this time from Maxwell. Way over the head of Josh Cobb on the deep square fence and out into the mighty temporary stand away to our left hand side, and poor old Josh Cobb is going to have to scramble his way over a couple of metal fences down there to pick up the ball. Back to back maximums for Maxwell, quickly up to 14, 1-4-5 for 1.
Well, we said Maxwell will come out with a licence to hit it. I mean, you're obviously a star player, one of the best one-day players in the world. You say, right, you go and bat at 3. I don't think he's going to come out and nudge it and push it, is he? He's going to come out and try and hit it and try and get Lancashire. If Lancashire do go on to win it, they want to win it as quickly as they possibly can to improve the net run rate. So Maxwell's got the licence to try and hit it here. We might see a little bit more of this.
Could be entertaining stuff to watch as Zabe comes in again to complete the over, and Maxwell forward this time to a length ball that just nibbles away. Sharp single taken as the ball runs just back of point, and Hamid gets himself through in the end very easily for the run. So at the halfway point, Lancashire are cruising to 70 to win, and they're 1-4-6 for 1. So they only need another 124 runs to win, and they have another 150 deliveries in which to get those runs in. And so far, the rain holding off as well, which is great news.
It has, yeah. It looks a little bit brighter. I mean, the direction of the wind hasn't changed, and certainly the rain over the city centre look pretty nasty. But at the minute, it's just it's been blown away from the ground, and maybe we're just on the kind of the edge of it, which is good. Let's see, Muzzer Rabana coming back into the attack. So halfway stage of the innings of the run chase, and Maxwell's hit a couple of sixes. He's moved to 15. He's batting with Hasib Hamid on 62, and Muzzer Rabani over the wicket and bowling to Maxwell, who clips it off his pads up onto his toes, jogs through for a single. He moves to 16. Rain certainly has affected some of the other games. Still nothing yet between Worcestershire and Durham, albeit, as Alex mentioned, play due to restart at 5 o'clock, and they're off for rain between Sussex and Somerset, albeit they have a game there. They're into the 17th over, and I suspect Sussex are
miles behind.
Miles behind, yeah. They're 62 for 4. There is Muzzer Rabani over the wicket to Hamid. defending it. There's no run. And the Leicestershire against Derbyshire again, he's being played, but there's a revised target there. Derbyshire are 57 for 1. What do they need? Derbyshire need 209 runs to win from 29.3 overs. Game in the North group. So there's 3 in the North group and 1 in the South group today. Rabani bowls and Hamid forward, squirts at it in towards the offside. It's stopped just at point by Alex Wakely, just about. Took a couple of attempts to get to it. And got a big beaming smile on his face as Alex Wakely. 147 for 1 it remains. A few more people on the hotel balconies. Maybe 1 or 2 Man United fans just checking in. As Muzarabani balls a slow ball to Hamid, who defends into the onside, no run. In fact, looking through the binoculars, they're full of Man United shirts. There's a young lad wearing a United shirt and another young family all wearing Man United tops. So they have their tickets booked for this Manchester derby tonight. Let's make a night of it. Go into the hotel and watch a bit of cricket beforehand. Muzarabani in to Hamid. He's forward and defending into the offside, no run. Could be a little bit busy around these parts in the next couple of hours. 8 o'clock kickoff just across the road. I built this one up as the biggest game in Manchester today, this fixture, but apparently not. The Manchester derby just pips it. Not quite sure why. 1 ball left, the 26, Muzarabani to Hamid. And he's defending off the front foot. Firm defensive push to mid-on. And it's gathered by Ben Sanderson. That's the end of the 26th over, 147 for 1.
That's been the most impressive thing about Hamid today, really. There's big strides and there's really confident defensive shots, and the ball has come firmly off his bat all afternoon. Been really good to watch. Great to see him back. Very, very talented young man. He's had a very difficult couple of years, but seemingly has found something over the winter. And he's back in good touch this summer. Luke Proctor's returning here from the Anderson end. 3 overs, 0 for 18 his first burst. So it's the end of Safe Zabe. Just as Glenn Maxwell was striding out, thrashed him away for a couple of maximums. Zabe 5 overs, 0 for 36 in the end. He is removed from the attack. And Northants are back with a couple of seamers at either end. So Proctor returning here. Sent back third man, deep cover, long on down towards the point, and then deep mid-wicket, quite a square deep mid-wicket actually, away to our left-hand side in front of that temporary stand. Proctor into Maxwell then, 147 for 1, and Maxwell across his stumps just works this from the crease down towards the point for a single to Vasconcelos. 148 for 1. Maxwell has 17. Hamid has 62 from 73 balls, 8 boundaries. It's been a really comfortable innings for Hamid, who can just play his natural game here, really, can't he? Just take his time, work the bowling around. Doesn't have to do anything out of the ordinary. Just has to keep his side ticking over. It's got a little darker all of a sudden here. It was a burst of sunlight, but it's gone away for a moment. Long legs now going back for Proctor here. And long on is up for the right-handed Hamid, who waits bat raised. Proctor is in, and Hamid from the crease is pushing just in front of point, where Curran comes across to collect with a right hand. And there is no run. You're looking around the skies, you think there's rain up there somewhere, but it's avoided Old Trafford for the moment. Proctor turns again and runs in his short sleeve shirt. Past the umpire he goes, and Hamid whips this leg side in the air for a moment, but down to long leg in front of the double-decker stand away to our left-hand side. And Hamid goes on to 63 not out, 149 for 1 in the 27th over here. Lancashire chasing 270 to win.
You're quite right, isn't it? The ideal situation for Hamid, having someone like Maxwell who will just score quickly if he's there anyway, to get on and do his thing, and he can just concentrate on his own game.
Proctor in and Maxwell driving, punching ready, down towards mid-off. Wakely's there, no run.
It has got a lot dark. You look at it, I mean, the lights are on now in the pavilion, aren't they? You can see it's like the members' lounge there, that the lights are shining pretty brightly. We can see the scoreboard looking increasingly brighter, albeit the umpires clearly feel as though the floodlights are not required at the minute.
Surprised they haven't been turned on as Proctor moves in once more, and Maxwell drives. Toey actually, it's wide of mid-off, and they get a single with Wakely moving to his left-hand side on the edge of the 30-yard circle, and that brings the 150 up for Lancashire. 150 for 1 with the ball to go in the 27th. Now moving swimmingly along here in pursuit of 270. I'm staring at the sight screen on the far side of the ground to see if there is a little bit of moisture falling now, as Proctor moves in again, and Hamid from the crease angles this out to Levy at extra cover. Levy's got his sun hat on as the over comes to an end. 27 gone, 150 for 1, 120 more needed for Lancashire in 138 balls.
It got noisy, didn't it, for a few minutes, with sirens whirling around. Now the umpires are going to have a little, well, umpire Bailey's, he's looking up towards the skies. I don't see any kind of sudden movement from spectators out in the open, which would suggest it's all right at the minute.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's asking the floodlights to be turned on, because it is gloomy. Don't think I'd want to face a 6'7"
no.
crazy-haired Zimbabwean in this light, or indeed most light.
Again, yeah, they're just going to have a little conversation. This could be either rain-related or floodlight-related, or a little bit of them both. But umpire Bailey kind of, well, actually, the floodlights are now just starting to crack on. So, you know, floodlights are coming on. So just wait a wee while for them to warm up and get going. The umpires had just a brief chat there. Two concerning glances towards the distance. Bowler and captain in conversation. Umpires back on the old walkie-talkie again.
We may just wait here, I think, until the floodlights come on, and it's probably a sensible idea, because it is very dark.
It take a while to warm up, don't we?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
switching your front light on in your room, is it?
I was surprised that they weren't turned on at lunch, to be honest. I thought that with a bit of weather around and the potential for things to get a bit darker, I thought it would have been a sensible play to flick them on there.
You don't get a £2.3 million profit by wasting electricity.
This is true. This is true. We are in the north, after all. We're not quite in Yorkshire, but we are in the north.
So this is what the delay is now. It's because we're waiting for the floodlights to take effect. Basically, the kind of cries of "get on with it." They're on, or at least the only one we can see is on. So we're presuming the other three are as well.
They're trying, aren't they?
But obviously, just not. Right, I think we're all right. So they've had a little radio up towards the scorers and this, that, and the other. Umpire Baldwin's given the go-ahead for Mazarabana to start his 6th over, the 28th of the innings. 150 for 1, and here comes Mazarabana with that crazy hair into Maxwell, digs it into the onside, pick up and throw. Is a very decent effort trying to run Maxwell out. Would have been a key wicket of Maxwell, isn't it, if you can get him for just 18. But he's scampered through, and he now moves to 19. 151 for 1.
Looked like a well-judged run. I think Maxwell would have been home even with a direct hit.
You just start to see the shadows being cast now from the floodlights. Mazarabani to Hamid. Defending, just running it off the face of the bat down to Gully. Another good sharp piece of fielding by, I think that's Alex. Oh no, Alex works at mid-off.
Keogh over there.
Keogh with a pick up and throw them. Hamid to 64, 52 for 1 here in Manchester on BBC's Lancashire, Manchester and Northampton. It is the Royal London One-Day Cup clash in the North Group between Lancashire and Northants. It's Muzarabani who's bowling to Maxwell. Oh, it's a short ball and Maxwell ducks underneath that. Actually uses his bat as a crutch to keep him upright there. He kind of lost balance. He kind of got down so far and rocked forward through to Rossington.
Seeing it well, Glenn? Gloomy light, bang one in.
Gloomy. Well, the outfield now is illuminated entirely by floodlight, isn't it, basically?
It's so much better now.
Yeah. They've warmed up the lights. Muzarabani to Maxwell. And jabs that one through the offside. And just to manoeuvre it to the left of Richard Levy. Josh Cobb and the cover boundary fields. Maxwell moves to 20, 153 for 1 in the 28th over. 2 balls left of it. Hamid 64 not out. Pigeons are swooping round now, fluttering over the head of Muzarabani as he comes in and bowls to Hamid, again forward and defending. And gathered by Muzarabani. And there is no run. Final ball of his 6th over. Wicketless so far, but he's bowled nicely. You can see the wind has picked up too. You can see his trousers fluttering quite firmly in that breeze, which is moving from right to left as we look out towards the city centre across the ground. Blowing into his right shoulder as he's in past the umpire again. And then Hamid rolls it down to third man. Just carries his bat as he jogs up towards the other end to keep the strike. It's the end of the 28th over. Hasib Hamid has 65 runs and Lancashire are 154 for 1. Target of 217.
Very, very smooth progress.
Yeah. It is indeed.
Still 116 to get, 132 balls remaining. Once that target comes down into 2 figures, hope really does drain away from Northamptonshire. Proctor to continue from the pavilion end, the Anderson end. Oh, goes past the outside edge. No, he takes the outside edge, and Hamid is gone. A feather edge behind, and Luke Proctor has struck against his old county, and Hasib Hamid's fine innings ends at 65. Looking to run a length ball from Proctor down to third man. A little touch through to Adam Rossington, and Proctor has struck. So both openers out now. Keaton Jennings played well for his 63 before being run out, and now the other opener, Hasib Hamid, 65. Played well as he walks off to our left-hand side to good applause. Can't quite see it through. 154 for 2 Lancashire in the 29th over.
Well, he put on a very good partnership, hadn't he, with Keaton Jennings. He put on 130 for the first wicket. He got 65 himself and batted very nicely. A lot of encouraging signs from Hasib Hamid, the way he started this season, both in red ball and white ball cricket. But just chasing that one, wasn't he? Just playing away from his body. As Alex said, just trying to run it down towards third man, but in the process of doing that, just a little feather through to the keeper. And Rossington made little mistake, and Hamid has to depart. It brings the Lancashire captain, Dane Villas, out to the middle to join Glenn Maxwell.
So success for Proctor, who's had a decent season so far with both bat and ball. Some very useful contributions. Little cameo for him earlier on today with the bat. Very useful runs to boost Northants to that 269. And he bowled really well at Derby on Good Friday. Well, it's 10 overs, 0 for 29. It's a spell from a different era, really. So 154 for 2. And Scott is checking the DLS score to our left-hand side. It's just boosted the target to 117, but they're still well ahead. As Proctor moves in, and VSO crashes his first ball over point down to the boundary by the double-decker stand to our right. And the Lancashire captain is away first ball. A slip had gone in there, but any semblance of pressure totally done away with a wide one from Proctor, and Villas cutting hard over the head of Keogh, and away to get off the mark with a boundary. 1-5-8 for 2 in the 29th over. As Proctor turns and runs in again, some rain definitely falling now at Old Trafford, and Villas clips leg side. This is running past mid-on. This will run away for 4 more. Out towards the point this time. The ball flicks up over the boundary into the advertising hoardings, and the Lancashire captain has come out with some intent here. Back-to-back boundaries. 1-6-2 for 2. Target's down to 108, and it definitely is raining.
Indeed, yeah, ground staff are lurking there, don't they? Just at the edge of the square. One or two brollies are up as well.
Proctor moves in again from the far end, and Villas again flicks leg side. This time doesn't quite time the stroke, and it will just be a couple of runs. Cobb is running around to his left-hand side from a square deep mid-wicket position, and they come comfortably back for the second. So Villas quickly to 10 here. 164 for 2 in the 29th over. Lancashire well ahead of the DLS pass score, as well, Villas just pulls out here. Actually, he had something in his eye. Just takes a step to square leg.
Probably rain.
Probably so. There is a bit of a retreat being beaten rather, from the spectators on the far side of the ground, and they're going off. You can hear the hover cover being revved up down beneath us. The advertising hoardings are swiftly removed, and the covers being hauled out from our right-hand side as well by the ground staff here. So 1-6-4 for 2 in the 29th over. Lancashire are comfortably ahead on DLS. Not quite sure how long the delay will be here, but we do have a delay for what looks like a pretty heavy shower.
Yeah, well, we've been waiting for this, haven't we, for a while? Kind of the predictions were that we get some rain, and perhaps a little later than we expected, but it has arrived nonetheless. They were originally kind of predicting it for 3:30ish, along those lines, but it's arrived a little bit later. The covers are being dragged on. Ground staff with the hover cover being pushed out towards the middle, and then a protective sheet guarding one edge of the square. Difficult for ground staff, isn't it? Especially at grounds when they've got so much cricket this year, and there's 6 World Cup matches and an Ashes Test match here. Pitches are precious, aren't they? And having to prepare certain strips for certain games. Lancashire do have a couple of championship matches to play, and a couple of one-day games here as well, so they're having to guard and protect the edges of the square where games are due to take place in the next month or two, before even thinking about the main pitches in which the World Cups will be played on. So the ground staff are dragging out sheets now towards the edge of the square, so I suspect we're going to be off for a while. It's raining relatively firmly. Floodlights are in full effect, and I think this could be quite a long break. So our online listeners will stick with this for the you'll hear the effects in the background, and our medium wave listeners on BBC Lancashire, we're going to rejoin our FM programmes. It's just into 5 o'clock now, isn't it? So we're into the main 5 o'clock news bulletin. Well, stay indoors, Mike, because it's raining here. It all looks rather wintry, I'm afraid. Lancashire are miles ahead in the game. They're 164 for 2 in pursuit of 270 to win the game. If we do not get back on, Lancashire will win anyway via the Duckworth-Lewis method. But we're off for rain. Lancashire 164 for 2, chasing 270 to win.
Lancashire 312 8 Derbyshire 60 on 99 Ray 334 Sunset 283 8 time of intervention
No, I'm not.
For those listening online via the BBC Sport website, just to confirm that the game has been abandoned. Torrential rain, absolutely torrential rain, thunder and lightning. The crack of lightning just a few seconds ago there as well means that the game has been abandoned. That is lightning you can hear, and thunder with Lancashire winning via the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method by 45 runs, but the game has been abandoned. Yeah, certainly, mate. Okie dokie. And you join us to the rumble of thunder in the background. That noise you can hear is thunder, with Lancashire winning this game by 45 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method. Absolutely torrential rain in the last 5 minutes or so, almost constant lightning above Manchester, and as a result the umpires not only clearly deem it too wet to continue, but too dangerous to continue with the thunder and lightning. Lancashire have won the game by 45 runs, so it's back-to-back victories in the Royal London One-Day Cup. The highlights for Lancashire, Andy, certainly Saqib Mahmood, 6 wickets, 6 for 37, and a century partnership between Keaton Jennings and Hasib Hamid for the first wicket. But with thunder above us in Manchester, Lancashire have won by 45 runs. It's been abandoned, Mike. Might be no surprise because the weather's been so horrendous in the last half an hour. On safety grounds, as much as anything else, the thunder and the lightning for about 15 minutes. And the umpires say not only is it too wet, it's too thundery, and there's too much lightning, so they're off. But Lancashire have won. They've won the game via the Duckworth-Lewis method by 45 runs, so it's back-to-back victories for Lancashire. Yeah, it absolutely tippled it down. It was thunder and lightning and torrential rain, so the game was eventually abandoned. But Lancashire was so far ahead on Duckworth Lewis that the result was inevitable. Really, they've won by 45 runs via DLS, and that makes it back-to-back victories in the one-day cup on the back of the tight win at Yorkshire on Sunday. So 2 wins for Lancashire after 2 defeats. Yeah, he was the absolute standout for Lancashire. Northants were put into bat first by Lancashire, which was inevitable really with the forecast for rains. That brings DLS into that happens. So the toss worked out well for Lancashire. They put Northants into bat. They batted okay, Northants. Got themselves into a bit of a pickle in the power play. They were 24 for 3 at one stage, but then kind of pieced things back together again. Rob Keogh batted nicely for his 66, and Jason Holder made 72 for Northouts. But they were bowled out for 269. But you mentioned Mahmood at 6 for 37, career best figures for Saqib Mahmood. And he does have mid, actually, in this competition on good pitches and short boundaries. It's tough for bowlers. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the big thing for him, I hope, is he keeps fit. He's had such a rotten time with injuries over the last couple of years. I mean, he seems to have played more for kind of England Lions than he has for Lancashire. So, yeah, hopefully he can keep himself fit. He's played throughout the course of the group competition so far. Today, clearly an absolute standout moment for him. And if he's fit and bowling well, then he's a really exciting player. So, fingers crossed, this is good signs for both him and for Lancashire. Yeah, I think he's had a little bit of a niggler. I think he played in the second team this week, so that's good signs that he's coming back towards fitness. But he was injured at the start of the season, which is the reason why they brought in Mark Futtick to cover concerns with Gleeson. I think Tom Bailey was doubtful as well for that first game. In the end, he was fit enough to play. Injury thing for him, so hopefully that's behind him. He played in the twos this week, so again he comes back into it, because they have been a little bit depleted in their bowling attacks for the first kind of couple of games of this competition. I mean, they had kind of Josh Bannon almost as a third seamer in this format for the first couple of games. So hopefully getting these players back fit. Great to see Liam Hurt in the side as well. He made his first appearance at Yorkshire on Sunday. So yeah, slowly numbers coming back, hopefully, which will boost them as the competition goes on. It seems a little uncertain as to when exactly Al Davis will return. I gather it's not as serious as first feared, which is good news. Whether he'll return at all for the One Day Cup remains to be seen. I suspect he won't be a million miles away for the return of the championship. And yeah, I like she will get boosted by the return of Liam Livingstone at some point. A player of his talent. Is clearly a big loss for Lancashire, but yeah, he'll be back when he's done with the IPL. Yeah. He played at Middlesex. He bowled superbly at Middlesex in the first championship match of the season. Yeah, so he's fully fit. Yes, they play Leicestershire here in the next group games. So they've lost the first two. Against Worcestershire here, and then at Nottinghamshire they beat Yorkshire on Sunday it was just a brilliant game of cricket, and a wonderfully tight game which Lancashire came out on top. A nice win for them here on Duckworth Lewis. They deserved it across the piece. They were by far the better side, and then they play Leicestershire on Sunday, so they can try and make it 3 from 3. They're up and running.